Hello, Night Lords. It's Unseen Future here, back with another video. And it's been a little bit. It's been about a week since I posted anything. A couple of reasons for that. I'll discuss a few things in this video. Mainly, or one of the main things, is who is the best character in Nightreign, or best Nightfarer. And also YouTube. And maybe a couple other things, maybe some videos that are upcoming. So, for one thing, I kind of quit posting for a week. Kind of got burnt out, I guess you'd say, YouTube burnout. And part of the reason is YouTube's done something with their algorithm. Not that I'm a huge channel or anything, and I don't get a whole bunch of views. My views went way down compared to some of the earlier videos. And I've seen some other creators say some other things about YouTube changing something. So obviously they done something, but I don't know, maybe that'll be fixed later on. But you know, I'm still trying to grow. So as always, please like, subscribe, and comment if you can. I'd appreciate that. They all say that likes especially will help you grow as a channel. So anyways, back at the ranch. On the discussion of who's the best Nightfarer, honestly, my favorite is Ironeye. I've actually changed it a few times throughout my experience with this game. First, it was Duchess, and then it was Wylder, and then it was Ironeye. And I've been playing with all these characters quite a bit in the past week or so. Even though I wasn't posting, I was still playing. And I have decided that, honestly, I'm just going to go with Ironeye and Wylder. And let me explain. I think Ironeye is good for more experienced players. So the more experienced you are with a game, the better Ironeye is going to work for you. And Wylder is going to be better for new players that's a little less experienced, but are decent at the game. And it actually, you know, he can carry you in a lot of situations as well. So I guess my suggestion with new players would be, hey, play with Ironeye some, play with Duchess, and even Raider. I mean, all these characters have their strong suits, I guess you would say. So, but if I was gonna say who I would think you should start out with, it'd probably be Wylder. I think a new player should start out with Wylder. I think he's really good. He's mobile. Raider's a little slow. You know, he consumes tons of stamina. Now Duchess, though, I'm telling you, Duchess, she is awesome. So I mean, a new player could do that as well. You just want to put some HP on, but new players not going to have access to a lot of relics. So, but yeah, if you beef up basically any of these Nightfarers HP, they all have potential to be good. You know, just it's kind of like Elden Ring. You have to have enough HP to survive getting one shot by these bosses, and some enemies, regular enemies and regular bosses in the game as well. Just part of Elden Ring and the way the game's made. So, you know, I think playing defensively in this game, as far as relics and stuff go, versus damage in the beginning, is probably a good way to go. But later on, you can beef up your damage and go that route after you get better, learn all these patterns of how the bosses do. Also, I guess that's probably it on that. I'm going to actually, since I've decided these two are the best, I think the next one is going to be the characters I would say are more of support roles. Like Guardian, Revenant, and Recluse. And they all can be mains, I guess. Even Executor. I don't really consider him a main, but he can be as well. They all can be, especially in single player mode. But when you're multiplayer, it's a little different. So, on another topic that I've noticed, since they've done this update, and I've seen some other channels say the same thing, latency's been a little bit of an issue. To me, not in the regular part of the gameplay, but in the new boss, the new Libra Everdark Libra boss. I tell you, the ads in that fight. I'm gonna upload a video pretty soon concerning that as well. I like the boss. It's pretty fun. It's really chaotic. The problem is the ads can be laggy. I mean, and why they're laggy, I don't know. But today it wasn't so bad. But some days, I just don't know what's going on. You can actually see it's almost like someone with a bad connection is what it looks like, which we know that's not what it is, you know. Maybe From Software is playing a practical joke on us, you know, I don't know. But, yeah, I like the boss. Leave a comments down below on, like, do you like the new boss? You know, how do you like the new 3 bosses? Because we got, you know, Everdark, Libra, we got Augur, and we got the dragon, the Fisher in the Fog. So, I tell you what, a Fisher in the Fog is the most fair and balanced one. I'll be honest. I think that's the most fair and balanced. The only thing you pretty much need to do is do the mountaintop earth shifting event. You know, make sure you buy that so that you can get the frostbite resistance, because that's pretty necessary. Now, I'm sure it can be beat without it, but if you want a little easier time, that's the way to go about that boss. These 3 bosses are definitely harder than the first 4 that they loaded, so these 3 have been definitely more difficult. Speaking of which, the only problem I have with Libra, like I said, was the ads. That's the problem in the boss fight. You can't never tell if they're going to be latent or they're going to act like latent. I guess they're going to be skipping around, teleporting, you know, things like that. Ain't nothing like getting hit in the back with a great bow while you're fighting the boss too. That's always fun. But that's like, I think that's what they were aiming for. The chaotic part of that. That's what they were aiming for. But just please, From Software, fix the latency part, because it's a little too much. Other than that, that boss would be great, I think. I don't think there'd be any issue with it at all. And hey, thanks to From Software for getting duos out and doing some of these updates that we needed. You know, it's definitely been better overall since duos has been introduced. I definitely enjoy duos. And one more thing on the Libra boss, it's weird how it varies in difficulty, single player, duos, and trios. I never done it in single player, but I have watched plenty of people play it in single player, and it looks way easier, you know, in single player compared to duos. And then all of a sudden, and duos seems pretty fair as long as the ads aren't lagging around and doing weird stuff. You're good in duos. I prefer to play it in duos now, because I've only beat it once in trios, and the time that I beat it, guess where I was? I was down, been down 3 times, and I didn't contribute anything for the last quarter of the fight. Boss was a quarter of health, and them 2 guys carried me all the way to victory. So, trios is definitely tough. I do want to beat it in trios with some of my friends and stuff. You know, that's definitely something I want to do. So, I think that's it on that boss. I think the most fair, like I said, the most balanced is the dragon, is the Fisher in the Fog run. It felt fair from the very first time, and it wasn't just because we beat it first try, because we actually did pull it off. We beat it 3 times in a row, and I haven't played that one since, because they, you know, took it off and put this boss up. But Augur, I don't even want to play that boss unless they fix it. And my buddy's even worse than me. He's like, I don't never want to play that boss again. That's how frustrated with it he was. I'm not quite as frustrated with it, but I can see his point. That Augur boss, there's so many times that we would have beaten that boss and lost to, well, not RNG. It's more like there's a bunch of times when you'll charge up the Storm Ruler to attack the boss, and you'll hit the boss and it won't do any damage. And it happens if the boss is floating up, or like straight up or straight down. And it almost happens consistently every time. I was testing this while we was doing the boss. So for some reason, when he floats up or floats down, the Storm Ruler swipe will go right through him and not do any damage. Another time is whenever he's moving, like say left to right or right to left, and you're aimed at his head, and instead of hitting him in the head, it hits him in the tail. If it's not right at the base of the tail, it also won't do any damage. but they have a lock on spot at his tail. And I'm like, that's crazy. Why would you do that when the hitbox is obviously something wrong with it? I'm wondering if other people have experienced the same thing. I'm not 100% sure. But I know with the Libra, a bunch of people are experiencing the exact same problems that I was talking about earlier. I'm trying to think of some other things. Yeah, all I can say is hitting the balls over the Augur boss's head as it floats in is another problem. He swirls around so much, it's always RNG dependent how he's moving, whether you're going to get a good shot at that, you know. That's just a few things. I'm going to make a more detailed video. I'm actually going to be comparing the Fisher in the Fog and the Augur boss, and I might actually change that to Fisher in the Fog versus in the Libra boss, because the Libra boss wasn't out when I started that video, or started making that, so I think I'm going to change it. Because there ain't really any problems with the Libra boss. My comparison was going to be like, this one is really, really fair and balanced. There's no issues that I have seen yet, but in this one, or in the Augur boss, it was just a lot of different things that you see happening. I've seen my teammates go down to absolutely no hits. That's happened in the Libra fight as well, but not as much. In the Augur fight, we've been quarter health away from beating the boss. Nobody's been down. And then all of a sudden, my teammates are just down. They go down for nothing that I seen on the screen hit them. And then when I run over to them to get them up, the boss just spams every attack possible. They're like the bubbles, the ball shooting laser, the main laser, and a wave, maybe even 2 or 3 at once, and pin me in an unwinnable situation where I can't dodge all of it. And if I get hit by one thing, I'm going to get hit by multiple. So, but yeah, I definitely hope they fix. There is some issues with that boss, especially with the hitboxes. So I hope they fix that. But definitely gonna make a video on that, and it's probably going to be concerning Libra and Libra and the not Fisher in the Fog, and the Augur boss. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there. I actually started watching my video and got sidetracked. But anyways, I think that's about it. That's all I really was going to talk about this time. Like I said, I really can't make a decision on who's the best. I'll just say Wylder's best for beginners for sure, and Ironeye's going to be more for people that are seasoned, played the game quite a bit, learned all the bosses, and learned how they work, things like that. Because Ironeye, as well as Duchess, is also another one that can be good as a starter and can be good as a beginner and a seasoned person or an experienced person. Because she can dish out damage too. But I'm telling you, we've destroyed some bosses with 2 Ironeyes and 3 Ironeyes. You've seen my video on that if you watched it. So, but I think I've yapped and yapped and yapped. I guess I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. I hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you next time. GG's, and bye-bye.